Hey everyone, and welcome back to another round of Mom Q&A with Mama's Uncut, where we answer your anonymous questions and give you the best advice we possibly can about parenting, motherhood, or relationships. Again, we have Lisa and Mindy. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
You ready to get started? Am I a bad person for not liking my stepdaughter? She is 9 years old and the most disrespectful child I have ever met. She does have manners at times, like please and thank you, but is constantly wanting to be the center of attention for every little thing. And she has a want, give me attitude. She lives with us 90%, 98% of the time, and her teenage attitude just drives me bonkers. It seems like if I say to go this way, she will do the complete opposite just to make me pissed off. I've tried telling my husband that I'm not appreciative of her behavior or attitude, especially since she likes to be defiant. But my husband just feeds into her and babies her. My husband doesn't let me discipline them, especially her, since he thinks I am too rough on them. I started dating her dad, now my husband, when she was 6. And according to her aunt, who recently complained about her behavior to me, that we should be doing something more about her and her behavior. She said that she has always been this way. I feel bad as I've tried building a relationship, but it has progressively gotten worse, especially since I moved here over 2 years ago and her dad and I got married. And my daughter, her sister's birth was in the winter. My stepson is 7 and has issues, but overall is a good kid and tries to improve and get better. Anyone else feel a stranger connection to one stepchild than the other? Any advice, guidance, help to get through the next 9 years with her, as I feel like she will end up being the driving force in my husband and I, if my husband and I ever get a divorce.
Wow. Okay, that's a harsh ending.
Mm-hmm.
That's a harsh ending.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a two-part answer.
Mm-hmm.
The easy part is you're getting a preteen and they're a-holes.
Amen.
Just period. Like,
Yeah.
It is what it is. They're getting to that age, and but putting boundaries and setting standards is important, and your husband absolutely should participate and support that process, because it's not going to get any, having raised 2 teenagers, it is not going to get better if you don't sort of corral it now versus letting it run wild, especially for girls. Girls can be just complete terrors. I was a terror. My daughter was a terror. Like, just trust me, they can be a terror. So that's one issue. The second issue is having grown up with a stepmom who did not like me at all and still doesn't really like me. It is very challenging. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, but you're the adult in the relationship. And for me, this sounds like it was when I was growing up. It was much more an issue between my dad and my stepmom than it was between my stepmom and I, particularly around my discipline, about whether I could live with them, a variety of other issues. And so, again, I come back to her working with the dad, and if the dad isn't a willing partner and sort of getting this stuff nailed down sooner rather than later, I think it's going to be difficult. But, you're not going to like everybody. And yes, you're going to have a better relationship with some than the other. But the flip side is you're the adult, and please don't ever make this child feel unwanted. And it is very concerning when somebody says she may be the reason we get divorced, because it's not about the kid. It's about you and your husband and how you handle being parents in general.
Yeah. They totally need a plan of when she said, I kind of have an issue with she's not able to she's not able to discipline or involved in the discipline. I get she may push things further than he's comfortable with, but they need to agree on a place where they are okay disciplining, and that they have a family where they understand the boundaries, exactly like what you were talking about, Lisa, because it's not okay. I have a child in that age range too, and they have hormones, they have stuff that's starting. You can't I mean, yeah, she may have a personality that's a little bit more precocious and defiant. That's not the end of the world, and lots of children are like that. That does not mean that you can hold resentment or be angry toward a child when you are the adult. Like what you were saying, Lisa, that could be this story summed up in one thing. You are the adult in this conversation. This is a 9-year-old child. So I think that they need to first get a conversation going where they can agree on what the lines are with discipline and how it can be enforced, because I think that the stepmom does probably need some tools to be able to discipline. I think, I mean, and not, when I say discipline, it doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to be anything. They need boundaries in their family, essentially.
Well, but especially since she's basically the mom, right? If the 9-year-old lives with them 98% of the time, she is the mom, and she needs to be allowed to be the mom.
Yeah, it could create some chaos. So, or a lot of chaos, actually. So I think that is feeding into this problem. But the aunt saying stuff too, it's like children all have different personalities. Do not compare your stepchildren. Don't compare your stepdaughter to your daughter that you just had. They are all individuals. They will all have different personalities. Yes, you might not jive. They might not be as easy to get along with, but that does not mean that they're not valuable. They're not good kids. They don't have something to contribute to the world. They don't have lots of value, and they deserve to be loved. Like, this is a kid. So back yourself out a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely think there needs to be more give and take here in the adults in this situation. So, what you were saying about agreeing when it comes to disciplining, like she should absolutely be involved in that process, but the mom needs to be, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to be a little bit more gentler, but also the dad maybe needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Coddling is an issue. I don't know how much coddling is happening, but it was mentioned. So, if you need to be a little bit more stern, then you have to have that, that compromise there. And I also think, 3 years is a long relationship, but it's also not that long of a relationship. So if you've only been in her life for 3 years, you got a long road to go. You still are earning her trust, and she's still getting comfortable with you and all of that. So I think that also needs to be at the forefront of her mind too. Like, I get it. Kids are hard, especially teenagers. And I was not an easy teenager. I had a lot of emotions that I was not afraid to show people. And so I think it's just, you just need to keep reminding yourself of that, because, she should also remind herself of what she was like as a teenager. Like, I think we all think we were good kids. We could have been worse, sure. But we all had our things that are.
Not me, I was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I own it.
I think as like every parent has once been like, oh my God, this kid, like, what are we going to do with them? But, you just need to kind of hunker down. Like, you're a parent. That's never going to change. Like, you're
when
there
you said
for
the 9-year thing, I was like, you don't just get rid of children after they become adults. We all know that, right?
Right. The 9-year thing, like another 9 years. No, a lifetime.
You may stop paying for them, but
you're always going to have a child.
Time, but they're still around. Like, I moved out at 18, but believe me, my parents still know they have a daughter. Trust me. All right, thanks guys. Don't forget to send in your anonymous questions.